What's going on in the back? I ain't done a video in forever, man. I've been on vacation and I just been, slacking to make sure I'm live over here. All right, cool. So I'm live. So yeah, organizations versus institutions. I wanted to talk about this real quick because I'm drawing I'm making a comparison of two words. If you read the title, if you look at it, I always talk about word definitions, and the two words actually they mean the same thing. So just humor me for a bit, because institution and organization, if you look up the definitions, they basically mean the same thing, but there's two different things that I mean that I'm going to explain in this video and what I mean when I say this. So like an organization, that's when a group of people get together. They say, listen, we are a group of people, we want to get together, we want to serve a certain purpose. And when I'm saying institution, I'm meaning people getting together to do a particular thing. You understand? Now, it's going to be more clear what I mean by the difference of this if you just continue to listen to the video. So why do I use these words? And if somebody has some better words, if you listen through and you have a better word, a better way for me to explain what I'm saying, please let me know. The only reason I put it out there like this is because that's what's been on my mind. That's what I say to myself. But organizations, I want to talk about that because we open up. Black people have so many organizations. Like, we come up with an organization every single day. There's probably like 3,800 organizations just from black people that got started this year and counting. And they constantly get made, and that's what we always tell ourselves, because there's a euphoria that comes over us when we say, we need organizations, we got to really build, we need to come together, and all these cliche things that we say. But the only issue I have with the organizations, typically what happens when you start an organization is you have a group of good brothers and sisters, or sisters, either one, that get together, that are very genuine and have something that they want to do, something they want to see in the world change, or some motivation or reason that they got together. And what happens is they have a very vague and ambiguous goal, a very vague and ambiguous structure. And because of this, they start with something. Everybody says, oh, we start an organization. Everybody gets all pumped up. And because they have a vague and ambiguous aim, definition, and structure to the organization, it just ends up dying out and fizzling away into nothing. And you see this happening a million times where we have so many organizations that pop up. You know what I mean? And I want to say, because organizations are definitely needed, but there's a few things about starting organizations. First of all, I actually a couple years ago was a part of this process of someone starting an organization. It was called Beast. Some of y'all in here that might see it, y'all might have seen it. It was called Beast. It was Black Empowerment and Solidarity Team. Initially, it was after the whole Michael Brown thing. It was some people getting together. It had the word solidarity in it, meaning like for all people, whites, whatever. When I had got to it, eventually we ended up making it just an all black thing, and the people in it were solid. I don't know if anybody that's in there was in there. If you are, say something about it, because the people in it were very solid, genuine people. We would get together anytime we called a meeting to do anything. Everybody was there. These were people who were involved otherwise. Now most of the people in Beast have been spread around, but the point is, these are genuine people in it. But what happens is you have something and there's no clear goal, so it makes it tough for you. It's like, all right, well, we want things to be better for blacks. Because there's no clear goal, even though you have good people, it ends up dying off. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to put that and compare that to. I think we should not, we should still do organizations because these things pop up. We should still do them, but I'm saying we have to think about not, oh, there go my boy Kevin. He was in Beast. He was one of the ones in Beast. He was in the meetings at the Ethiopian restaurant. What's good, Kevin? He was one of the members of Beast. But anyway, let's think about also doing that. Oh, well, first, one more thing on organizations. Before you start an organization, make sure that it's not someone that already doing what you're doing. That is one thing, because like I said earlier, it's like 4,000 organizations that black people have this year. Make sure there's not anybody already doing what you're doing that you can join. Just always double check that before you start an organization. Be sure that you have a clear thing that you want to do that is not currently being serviced. And if it is currently being serviced, do your best to jump in with whoever is doing it. All right, now to institutions. When we think about, when I mention an institution, even though as I mentioned earlier, they're technically the same. Organization is something general, something that people want to do, a thing you see black folks do. An institution to me is something that someone does, that has a clear planned out goal and most of all can fail. Okay, so examples of institutions will be, it's just basically things that can fail. Like you could have a co-op between black folks, like a business, or you know what I mean? Black folks come together to do some type of business. That's an establishment of an institution made by black people for the purpose of black people, even if it's getting those black folks money and being able to support the community or something like that. I'm considering that as an institution. Or we could look at, I'll give you guys some local examples, things you may recognize, like mentor programs. Like Blue Heart Foundation. It is an institution that can fail because it has a clear goal. First of all, he has a goal. He has a goal that he says, according to the brother's words, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, he started a program, out of his mouth he told me, to get brothers into college. So that's a clear goal. But aside from that, because in my opinion, that's like one of the long-term goals of it. But aside from that, either he has kids sign up and do the things on the dates that they say that they're going to do. Either they do that or they don't do it. You understand? It can fail because if they don't sign up and then they don't set any goals and they don't do any mentoring, then the program fails. So that's what I'm saying. He has something with a clear goal, but not only a clear goal, it's something that can fail. So if it doesn't get done, it ends. But there's certain people, when you have things that are not clearly defined, people can get together and say we're an organization and they're constantly existing together, they're constantly getting together. But because there's no thing that they have to do in order for their institution to stay afloat or their organization to stay afloat, it can just be sitting, existing, and not really getting anything done. And not get anything done. Initially, you had that euphoria of everybody getting together. Yeah, we got to get together. We got to do something. But eventually, all of the energy. There goes another brother from Beast, GJ, in the house. He was in Beast too. But all the energy from what you had going on, eventually it gets wasted. So I just want to see us do things, like I said, like that mentor program, like a business, some type of daycare or something. You know what I'm saying? Like political education on Fridays, with Pillars of the Community. Something that he has going on where if you come in, either he has political education on Friday and people come in to hear what he has to say, or it's going to fail eventually at a point. You understand? It's going to fail if no one is showing up. It no longer exists. So he has an institution that has to do something or it no longer exists, opposed to just saying, listen, well, we're the political education organization, but we don't, what's your goal? Our goal is to educate the black community politically. Yeah, because people had agendas. All right, we're going to get into that in a minute, GJ. But he said, our goal is to just politically educate. So that's so vague. You cannot fail at that because no matter what, you could just say, hey, we're educating people on social media. And because of that, we're still accomplishing our goal. When you could have just started a media company or a radio show where you say, listen, we're on the radio Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And our goal is to get more people and propagate our message. That's measurable goals. Measurable goals, not vague and ambiguous. And also when you have institutions like businesses or structures or sometimes even nonprofits, I know a lot of nonprofits are government grant funded and I'm not really as much into that. But one thing I will give these things, they have a structure as far as who is the leader, who is next in charge, how do the finances break down, how these things work. You understand? Like I'm in the PTA at my daughter's school. I'm actually on the board at the PTA at my daughter's school. I know a lot of people are going to say you probably shouldn't be going to the white schools. I understand that, but I'll talk to you guys later about why at this point that's the best option for me. I'm working on getting in a better position, but I'm on the PTA. In those PTA meetings, you sit down and you have organized structure for what everyone is doing. And you have a certain function. You have a certain dates that things need to happen, that if they don't happen, the PTA failed. And that's pretty much the main thing that I want to push across. So just, if you want to do things, just think, man, listen, instead, first of all, is there an organization that already exists to do what you want to do? And second of all, is there any way that you can make an institution to do this? Is there any way that you can make a school to just teach this every single year and you have classes from this time to this time? If they don't happen, you failed. If they don't happen, it doesn't exist anymore. Or you're going to just get around, have a good feeling, you know what I mean? But because your plans are so vague and ambiguous, you don't end up doing anything. You said, GJ said the reason Beast died because people had agendas. I don't know. We're gonna have to build on that, man. We might have to build on that on camera probably this Wednesday or something. We could talk about that because I just know, from my memory of it, I just know a lot of the people in Beast, everybody was solid, man. Everybody was very genuine. I'm not really knowing exactly what you're talking about at the moment, but let me see. I think that was pretty much all I had to say on that. Oh, that's another thing too, just the last thing. Whenever someone says they want to start an organization, or they say, hey, I want you to join this organization, you know, always running through a bunch of red tape. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you want to start an organization for what? And why? First of all, why? Because there's so many already. So you have to ask yourself a few questions. Does it already organization exist doing this already? What specifically do we need to bring that to the community, to the world that's not already being brought? And what exactly is that we're bringing in detail? Exactly what do you want to do? You know, run it through red tape. If you want to start one, or if someone wants to start with you, or just something, I just want people to put that out there. If you have something that can't fail, make sure you have it clearly defined what you want to do. And that's pretty much all I had to say on that.